afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Real quick, before we get into the meat of the video, I have a new truck, not on this channel, over at RobMotive JT. It airs today, I believe. It is a 2024 Toyota Tundra. Check out the channel. There's a link down below for it where you can see this brand new truck that I bought. It's awesome and I love it. But what I wanted to talk about today, and this is really because of the new Tundra. I got it and I didn't even realize until probably the next day after I brought it home that it has auto stop on it. You know, the lovely auto stop feature. And thinking back, I mean, I knew this because when I went and drove the first Toyota Tundra that came out, I noticed it had auto stop on it. But nonetheless, I had forgotten. So I was cruising around and I came to a stoplight. And while I was sitting there, I noticed a message on the gauge cluster that said something like, if you want to engage auto stop, push the brake harder. So apparently I was not depressing the brake pedal hard enough to activate the auto stop feature. So I did. I pushed it a little bit harder because I wanted to see what it felt like. And sure enough, the truck shut off. I hate that feature. It drives me insane. But why I'm talking about it on this channel, because you know that since it's on the new Tundra, and it has been since 2022, I believe, when it first came out, you know it's coming to the Toyota Tacoma, right? We're going to have that auto stop feature. Hopefully they set it up the same way, and that if you don't push the brake pedal all the way to the floor, it won't activate. And let me say that in normal stopping, so the way I would normally push on the brake or the pressure I would put on it, it wasn't enough, or it isn't enough to activate the feature. So I like that. I hope, since we've got to have it, you know, we've just got to have it, that they set it up the same way in the new Tacoma, because I think I can live with it that way. We shall see. It's going to be kind of interesting, I think. Now, one thing that I want to mention about it, you know, there are auto stop eliminators out there. I'm sure there's going to be one for the Tacoma as well. There's probably one out there for the Tundra now, but I have to say I haven't noticed it to be such a problem for me anymore, that it's really necessary to do it. Now, it's much different than it was before. Let's talk about the Jeep Gladiator for a minute. The Jeep Gladiator didn't have that slightly depress the brake feature, at least not consciously, because every time I forgot to push the button to turn it off, and by the way, the new Tundra does have a button to disable it, and I'm sure that the Tacoma will too, you just have to push it every time you restart the truck. But in the Jeep Gladiator, if you didn't remember to push that button, it would come on every time. I couldn't stand it. It drove me nuts. And I can't believe that that is any good for your engine, your starter. They say they put a more robust starter in to accommodate the many stops and starts you're going to have because of that system. Who knows if that's true or not? And even if it is, think about the wear and tear it puts on all of the moving parts of your engine, the electrical system, I mean, just on and on. And speaking of the Jeep Gladiator, there have been a ton of problems out there with that system. I hope it doesn't happen with my new Tundra or what's coming in the new Tacoma. But the problems have been the auxiliary battery system. The way Jeep does it, they have a little dinky, like lawnmower type battery stuffed in underneath everything else that after about 3 years, it seems, starts to die off. You have to have it replaced. My mother is experiencing this in her Jeep Gladiator. About maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, she went out to go somewhere and had a dead battery. Wouldn't start. The battery tested as bad. This was the main battery. So she had it replaced. Today, we go somewhere and she's got the little message on her dash that shows there's a problem with the auto stop system. To me, it means that the auxiliary battery is not charging and there's an issue. And the problem with that is if that auxiliary battery does not get enough charge during normal use, and she doesn't drive the truck a lot, but if it doesn't get enough charge during normal use, it's like a vampire system. it will start to draw power from your main battery, which is why I think her main battery went dead to begin with. Not just dead, but ruined the battery. Hopefully, Toyota has not used that same type of system with their auto stop feature. I don't know much about it in the Toyota product, so if you do, let us all know. Does it have an auxiliary battery to go along with that auto stop system? And if it does, where in the heck is it? Is it buried underneath the fuse box like it is in the Jeep Gladiator? I don't know. And you know, it wouldn't even be as much of a problem if that battery was accessible, if it's something you could actually get to change yourself. And it's not that you can't do it yourself. Buddy of mine did it with me, or we did it on his truck, and it was a pain. It's just stuck up underneath there. You got to pull the inner fender back, contort underneath there, reach up, support the battery as you're dropping it. That's if you don't decide to go ahead and do it the other way, which is to pull the fuse panel. Now you're messing with the truck's electronics. We didn't want to do that. Thought it would be safer anyway to go ahead and just pull it from the bottom. But why not put it up somewhere in the engine compartment? I mean, there's lots of room under there. Put it somewhere in the engine compartment, even if you had to pull the cold air intake off, let's say, where you can access it from the top. You don't need to do some special procedure or take it to the dealership to have it replaced. It'd be a little bit more palatable to me, even though I don't really want to replace it at all. But if I have to, I'd much rather it was accessible and I could get to it easily. Who knows? So that's a little bit of bad news about the new Tacoma. I guess that's progress. We have to have the auto stop system for emissions purposes. And don't let anybody tell you that that's to save on gas. It's not. I mean, every time it shuts off and turns back on, you're burning more gas to get that engine going. What it's for is to cut down on emissions while the truck is not sitting there running, for instance, while you're at a stoplight. That's the true purpose of it. Surely there must be a better way, isn't there? I'd almost rather have a natural gas powered truck, which is clean burning, by the way, as opposed to all these electronic gadgets and things that go bad. It's been a huge flop, in my opinion, for the Jeep Gladiator, and it's probably cost them thousands, maybe millions, in battery replacement and service charges, like paying the employees to do it, to replace those things under warranty. Who knows? Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you have as much of a dislike for the auto stop system as I do, or if you don't care, it's just another thing, doesn't bother you. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.